My El Paso and Southwest Railroad depicts logging in the Sacramento Mountains in New Mexico in the early 20th century. In an earlier video, I described how I built an S-trestle on a hill that led to a logging camp. I had a wall available to add narrow switchback tracks to climb up to the camp. All that was needed is a 12-inch shelf to gain 3 inches of height. The trestle was completed, and the video shows a passenger train heading for town. The September 14, 2011 video on the Model Railroader website described how the S-trestle was constructed on a hill. Logging railroads often use switchbacks in the mountain to simplify construction. Same is true for model railroaders. Trains would go forward up the hill, then throw a switch, then continue backing up the hill, and so forth. The bench had to be long enough to allow a logging train to go through the switches, then past a magnetic sensor, throw the switch, then reverse directions. If the engines are sound equipped, appropriate signals would be sounded. Excursion trains also used the mountain tracks and were accommodated. Since the model railroad uses DCC and a computer control to control movement, it is possible to automate the operation. The schematic of the switchback is shown at the bottom of the computer screen. Automating the El Paso and Southwest was described in a July 22, 2011 video on the MR website. The logging camp behind the excursion car was constructed from kits and placed in a former cupboard that was 6 inches deep. Then it was landscaped. If you look closely at the actual switchback photo, you can see 2 trains ascending, or they may be descending, on adjacent tracks. The challenge was to program the trains to not collide and have the coming switches point properly. The work train is shown backing up the hill as the passenger train heads into camp. The backdrop behind the bench was scanned on the computer from photos taken in Sonoma, Arizona, then printed on 8.5 by 11 photo paper. The switchback track connects the logging camp of Marcia to the mountain town of Cloudcroft, then to the logging mill in Alamogordo, New Mexico, at the foot of the Sacramento Mountains. The logging town of Marcia will be included in my next video of the railroad operating in the Sacramento Mountains in the early 1900s.